Welcome to the Rise Up Show. This is episode 430. I'm so excited and pumped up today to host someone who amazes me. We met on a challenge by Dean Graziosi. She played on the movie Jersey Boys as Marie Delgado, Frankie Valli's wife, in the Clint Eastwood film. She's an actor, a singer, and a master communicator. She's helping to guide women and men to gain confidence in themselves and clarity in their relationship by practicing authentic communication. And she is a master when it comes to that. And I will try to get some golden nuggets for you guys. She's also going to share her inspiring story and show us that it can be done no matter what. Let me introduce Renee Marino. I heard your story in the challenge and I got so fired up. I'm sure this story can inspire so many people and impact so many people. How are you doing, Renee?
I'm great. Thank you so much for having me. This is so special. And, I love that we connected through that challenge. And, we were just talking about how it feels like we've known each other forever.
Yeah. It feels like we know each other for years.
Yeah, totally. So I have been a professional actress for over 16 years. And communication has really been something that I've always been so passionate about. And I didn't realize that it was part of my calling until a few months ago when I started a course called KBB. But to tell you about the story that you were referring to, I was performing on Broadway in the musical Jersey Boys. And we had been hearing that they were going to be casting for the movie. And in all honesty, I didn't even think twice about it because I was like, oh, they're going to hire A-list celebrities. Some big star is going to play my role. Come to find out.
Makes sense, yeah.
Makes sense. So come to find out, they started calling people in from our cast to audition. And now I was like, oh, this is interesting. Okay. And then one Sunday matinee, we found out that Clint Eastwood was in the audience because he had been going around all the different casts to, see people play the roles. So that was really cool. I'm on stage singing and dancing, and like 10 rows back is Clint Eastwood. And I was like, wow.
Did you stay relaxed?
Honestly, Eden, it was so interesting. Like, when I think back to that day, I don't know. Someone said Clint Eastwood was here, and I was kind of like, cool. And then I go on stage, and I saw him, and I still was like, this is pretty awesome. But I guess, just years of training, you kind of know to just stay in it, stay in the work. And that's what I did. Luckily, I'm so excited. I didn't go, get crazy and so nervous where I was like, this is a legend watching us. I just, did my show. It was great. And then, the weeks went on, and slowly but surely all of, my friends were going into audition, and I called my agent and I was like, listen, I would love to be in for one of the roles. I don't care what I am. I could be like some little teeny tiny part, but I'd love to have the chance to audition. That's all I wanted was the opportunity.
Makes sense, at least.
Yeah, totally. That's what's important, everybody, right? I feel like in life, you just want to know that you have given yourself every possible chance to succeed. And what happens after that, you got to throw your hands up. But you want to feel like, okay, I put my best foot forward. So my agent calls me back because at this time now, they had put out a breakdown for the role of Mary Delgado. And what that means is a description of the character. So here I am playing the role on Broadway. I'm the exact description, and I'm not getting an audition for the role of Mary. So I'm like, what is happening? So my agent tells me, Renee, for some reason, they won't see you for the role of Mary, but they'll see you for one of the smaller roles, one of the angels, and they sing my boyfriend's back in the show. So at this point, I was just like, okay, what am I going to do? I'm still going in, right? I'm going to go in and audition no matter what role it's for. So I go in, I'm talking to the casting director in the audition room, and, we're having a great conversation. He's telling me how he loved me so much in the show. He had seen me a few nights previously. And then he goes, okay, great. Would you like to sing the song or read the scene first for the angels? And I look at him, everybody, and I go, I have to be honest with you. I was really hoping to come in and read for the role of Mary Delgado.
And you said that. Damn.
And I said it. And I said it. And, you know, there was just something in me, and I'm sure you've all felt this, where like there's just like a guttural like voice that's like, you have to do this. And that's what it was. I knew that I would feel so upset and have regret if I didn't just ask, right? If this movie came out and I never gave myself the opportunity, I would have felt really sad. So I was like, well, here we go. I'm going to try it, right?
Let's give it all.
let's go all in, baby. And if he says no, he says no, but at least I know I tried.
Yeah.
And he looks at me and he goes, I was just thinking the same thing. And I was like, great. And he's like,
nice.
I was like, awesome. So he's like, would you like to come back another day to, you know, do the Mary audition? And I was like, nope, I'm doing that today. I'm not leaving this building. So I sang the song. I did the scene for the angels. And then he gave me some time, came back, did the audition for Mary Delgado. Just felt so grateful that day because I got the chance. Walked away feeling good. Went back to doing my 8 shows a week on Broadway. Excuse me. And 2 weeks later, I was at my childhood home in New Jersey, mind you, where this whole storyline takes place of Jersey Boys. And it's my dad, my mom, and my grandmother were about to leave for my brother's wedding. And my agent calls me, and I pick up the phone, and she goes, you're Mary Delgado in the movie. Clint Eastwood loved you. And I was like, and honestly, Eden, I was hysterically crying, screaming. I run out of my childhood bedroom. My mom's like, what's wrong? And I'm like, I'm going to be in a movie. Like, hysterically crying.
Wow.
So cut to.
I'm sure you run in the house back and forth.
Literally running back and forth, screaming, like almost passing out because I'm so excited. Can't believe it. And it was like a few weeks. No, I'd say maybe a month later was when I started filming.
Wow.
Well, I had never stepped foot on a film set before. Never did a movie. Never did a TV show. I had just done Broadway. I was a theater gal. And here I was, on my way to set in my first Mary Delgado dress. And you guys talk about taking a massive action before you're ready. I was like, I looked up to the heavens and I was like, here we go. You got this. You got this. And I walk on set and Clint Eastwood comes up to me. His whole team of people are so wonderful. They're like the most genuine, wonderful people. Nice. And they welcome me like a family. And Clint comes up to me and he goes, Renee, I went around to all the different casts, but nobody was in your class. And then you came in and put yourself on tape, and it was the icing on the cake. And I was like,
wow.
I'm holding back tears. I'm like, oh my God, this is Clint Eastwood, right? So every time I would film, him and I would have lunch together. I was like a sponge soaking up every last bit of the experience I could, right? Because I knew this is a once in a lifetime opportunity. Like I need to like soak every part of it. So I would ask, that's it, squeeze the juice out of that wet towel, right? And he and I would sit and eat together all the time. And I'd be like, Clint, what was this like? Clint, how did you start acting? Clint, how'd you do this? What was this like? I mean, just asking him question after question. And one day we're sitting there and it's he, myself, and the executive producer of the film. And they start talking about how Clint knew he wanted me for the role when he saw me on Broadway. And I was like, wait a second.
Shit.
Do you guys want to hear a funny story? I actually couldn't get an audition for this. And they were like, wait. What do you mean? We requested you. And I go, did ya? Well, the only reason I got to audition is because I opened up my big mouth in the room with the casting director and said, I would love to read for Mary. And they were like, wait, what? So now we're talking about this, and come to find out, it all was due to a miscommunication between one of the casting associates who was casting a few different films at once and just dropped the ball. So, I say to you all listening.
Only because of miscommunication.
This is why I am so passionate and obsessed with good communication. Because, hear me out. If I didn't open up my mouth and communicate in that room that day, I could have missed my once in a lifetime opportunity.
You could be an angel.
Or I could be nothing, right? Or I could, if like so many of us, right? We step back from like speaking our minds or opening up about what we want to say. And if I did that day, Eden, I could have walked away with so much regret, with so much sadness. If I saw this movie come out and there's some girl who kind of looks like me and, you know, is very similar to me is playing the role, and I would have wanted to kick myself for not trying and not speaking my mind to say, hey, I'd love to read for this role. So there it is.
Wow. Yeah. And it happens only because you communicate. How many times we miss opportunities because we wait for the perfect moment.
Yes, exactly.
To talk with a partner, to talk with someone that we want to cooperate, whatever it is.
100%.
Our boss, whatever.
Yes, and that's the thing.
Opportunities like that.
Yes, and I say this all the time. You know, I'm in the process of writing a book about becoming a master communicator.
Nice.
Yes, and what I talk about in the book is like, and I hope my readers can feel my passion as I'm writing, because I talk so much about the things that we miss out on because of fear of communication. Number one, missed opportunities. Number two, we waste energy. And number three, which is tops everything off, is we waste time. And you guys, time is the one thing in our lives we cannot get back. We can make more money. We can even make more opportunities if we're really focused enough, but we cannot create more time. And I see so often friends, family members, clients literally missing, like wasting hours upon days, upon weeks, upon months, all because they're afraid to step up into their power and just say what they feel. And it's sad, right?
People
it's
miss
so
marriage.
sad. Oh my God.
Tons of things in life. And I want to emphasize what you just said right now, because people think that we have endless time, right? Now, people think like 1,000 times, should I buy this TV and go doing a whole research on this new TV, this new product, whatever it is. Like, I got to get the best, and waste tons of time, tons of energy, and you buy at the end of the thing, let's say the biggest TV that you want, yeah? But at the end of the day, the money you spend for the TV will come back. The time and energy that you waste, done.
Oh my God, Eden.
Done.
How, and guys, I understand this because as a reformed perfectionist, I have wasted so much time in indecision, right? Because when we're afraid, right? Let's take it back to communication. We're afraid, right?
Right.
So, Eden, if you and I are best friends and you said something, right, that slightly offended me on this call, instead of saying, hey, Eden, I want to like address something really quick. When you said this, you know, it kind of offended me. I just wanted to say it just so we could talk about it. And you may right at that spot go, oh my God, Renee, I didn't mean to offend you. I didn't mean that at all. And then guess what? The issue's done. We move on and we're best friends, right? Or what we oftentimes do is we stay in indecision and we go, we could get off this call and I go, oh my God, I can't believe like he said that to me. Should I say something? No, like I don't want to say anything. I don't want to rock the boat. Okay, yeah. I'm sitting here in indecision. Meanwhile, hours are going by. Now 3 days have gone by. right? I haven't talked to you, who's my best friend. I've wasted hours upon hours that I could have been using for something great. And now, before you know it, it's like, oh my God, the clock's ticking. And those are moments I can't get back. All because I was stuck in indecision and I was afraid. And those are two things that, listen, all of us have fear. Guys, that's the human experience, right?
Yeah.
And what I love to kind of press upon my people, my clients, my friends is it's about acting in spite of the fear, right? Because then you're courageous. And courage isn't courage without fear, right? Most of the things I do in my life, there's fear attached to, but I'm like, well, let's just do it. Because what's the alternative, Eden? Not doing it. And then guess what that does? That makes you feel crappy. Then you feel like so bad about yourself because you're like, man, I let the fear get to me, right? Might as well act imperfectly. And at least you could say, at least I did it.
Definitely right. Imperfect action, at least something.
Yes.
Not doing anything, that's what people don't get. A lot of people don't get is not doing anything. That's a decision. That's a decision as well. That's an act as well. Not doing anything, that's an act as well.
Amen. That is amazing. Yes.
And what you said there, you know, with friends, let's say we're best friends and we talk and I said something offend you. Sometimes I don't even know that I offended.
Of course.
And what happens? Days, weeks, months, it can be a year. And let's say this little thing become on another thing, because I said a couple of times maybe the same thing or something different. And at the end, it will blow up. The whole relationship will blow up at a single little thing. Let's say on a spoon. It fall down.
Yes. And this, oh my God, yes. Like this is, oh my God, I couldn't agree with you anymore. This is what I write about in my book. This is what I talk to my clients about because
I can't wait to read that book.
I mean, yeah, you're going to love it. You're going to love it. And I'm not saying that to pat myself on the back. I'm saying it because it's simple, right? It's a book, like, just like I'm talking to you, that's what the book is like. You know, this isn't meant to use fancy terminology to confuse you. Right. It's like, no, we have work to do in this life, on this earth. Let's freaking do it. Get out of our way. And communication is the vessel through which we can do that. Yeah. And I know this, Eden, because I told you the highest of highs in my life, right? Booking that major role. But I've also had the lowest of lows in my life because of lack of communication. And, you know, sadly enough, the example you just used, that's happened to me in my life. I mean, one of the closest people to me in my family no longer speaks to me.
Wow.
Because of something that was this silly and tiny, right? But this person refused to talk about it. And instead, they chose to just text, right? Argue over text, which please never do, my friends. Never do that. When an issue is pertinent and important, pick up the phone, get on a Zoom call, meet that person face to face, because nothing is clearer than that. And take it from me, someone who, listen, I'm Italian. I'm family oriented. My family is everything to me. We are love. We're together. And a family member of mine is now estranged because of this issue. So take it from me. It's not worth it. Like, be uncomfortable. Take imperfect action, because that's so much better than losing a family member over nothing. Like, that's the saddest part, you know? Damn right.
Yeah. You can lose your uncle, father, whatever, your parents. You can lose your spouse, marriage, job, career, business on those small little things.
I've seen it. I have seen it time and time again. In the workplace. This isn't just personal relationships, you guys. This is professional relationships too. In my workplace, I see the difference between a workspace that's operating with clear leadership through clear communication and one that's operating with not good communication. And it all trickles down, right? In the workplace, if you have a boss that's clear and direct and Eden, this is what we need from you, this is what we expect, then you know, right? Then that trickles down. It makes you want to work even better. And then other people get inspired from you. But when it's the opposite and, you know, your leader kind of doesn't let you know what they want, you're kind of,
That's not a leader. That's not a leader.
Not a leader. No. And you're walking on eggshells and you're like, I don't know, do I email the boss or do I talk to them? I don't know what I'm able to do. Then from there, you see kind of the breakdown of how that affects everyone below the leader.
So what you will suggest for our audience to do if they encounter in something like that in their business, with a partner, family?
Yeah. So here's the truth, everybody. We all are from different backgrounds, right? We're from different circumstances. So communication isn't comfortable for everybody. It's just not. You know, many of my clients have grown up in families where communication wasn't open. And, you know, if you tried to talk about something, that there was arguments and there was fights. And so because of that, those people have retreated. So what I teach are very simple practices to get yourself into the action of putting yourself out there and communicating. So step one for all of us is communication with self. So what does that mean? That means when you wake up, I advise you to all try this. When you wake up, take 5 minutes for yourself. Now, we're all busy. If you can't take even 5 minutes for yourself, that's a bigger problem, because if we're not taking care of ourselves, we can't take care of the people that we need to take care of, right? Yeah, so self-care is not selfish. Remember that.
Bam.
Yeah. So take out a piece of paper and a pen, your journal, whatever you can use. Set your alarm for 5 minutes and simply ask yourself, how am I feeling? That's it. Let yourself free write for 5 minutes. Don't think about it. Just let your pen go. What does this do? Number one, this gets you into the practice of communicating with yourself first and getting comfortable with that. Number two, it reveals things to you that you may not have been aware of. Like, I don't know about you, but I'm a big journaler. And sometimes when I start writing, oh my God, I could like look back at it and I'll be like, oh, I guess I'm still upset about that issue. I didn't think I was, but apparently I am, right? It's like, it acts as a mirror for us. Wow. And it reflects back to us how we're really feeling. And I advise you to do the same thing before bed, 5 minutes. What does it do? It helps you get all your thoughts out of your head so you can sleep better. It allows you to look back on your day and say like, okay, how did my day shift from this morning when I asked myself this question? And what you don't realize is after doing this for a week, you're now getting more comfortable with this practice of like checking in with yourself, right? Because that's where it all stems from. Everything starts with the relationship with yourself. And when you get to a point where you're completely honest with yourself, you're going to realize you can't help but be honest with others.
I'm right.
So that would be the first thing I would say.
Damn, I just love that. I had one of my mentors actually 2 years ago was insistent with me that I will start journaling. I heard that from so many mentors. I heard that from so many gurus, and I said, man, that shit doesn't work.
Yeah, totally.
So one day on one of our sessions, she said, listen, if you're done journal, we're stopping. That's it. It's the end of story. And I was, okay, is that of a big deal? Okay, yeah. I will start journal. So I start journaling, and I never stopped since then.
Yes. It's
every morning, every evening. Yes. And like you said, I love it because when you write down, first thing is like your mind is shifting inside to the paper. And when you write down, your mind doesn't think on the problem, it's concentrate on writing. So
Yeah.
a lot of things going down. Also,
Totally.
if it's a big problem, you see it now from above, psychology.
Yes.
That's a lot of
Totally.
research about
Yes.
it. Now the problem is small and not here like, whoa, that's a huge mountain. No, it's here.
100%.
It's
And you
concrete.
can see it. And you can physically see it, right? Because this is always what I say is this goes back to like mental health, right? This is why I believe there's such a stigma attached to mental health issues. Because in our minds, it's tough because we can't see it. So we can't see it, and neither can the people on the outside, right? So
Right.
how difficult does that make things that you're dealing with in your mind, right? So when you write it down, you are getting to physically see it. And that changes your perspective because
Immediately.
so much, right? Like so much of what we think and feel is actually not even conscious, it's subconscious. So it's back here. So we're like, I'm fine. No, I'm fine. Meanwhile, you have like a war going on and you're like, I'm fine. I'm great. I'm totally fine. Everything's fine. And then the next person who talks to you, you're like, what do you want? Because subconsciously you have this war going on in your subconscious mind. And when you write it out, it's like this power of taking it from the subconscious mind through your hands onto the page.
Mm-hmm. You know how many times when I write down, the minute I write something, I like, is that how I really feel?
I know. It's crazy.
It's amazing tool.
It is.
So if anyone does journaling, we will love to hear about it. So
yes, please, we'd love to hear.
Definitely, it's amazing tool. And if not, and people, you're ready to commit to it, just comment below. Heck yeah! Let's get
baby!
I really love that you brought that tool. It's it does wonders. It does wonders, definitely.
Totally.
So you talked a lot about fears today. So how did you deal with the fears and doubt, and especially in the show business?
Yeah.
Because I'm sure it's not an easy environment. It's an environment that a lot of judgment from other people, critique, nonstop. How do you deal with all those fears and doubts?
So this is, I'm going to go back to something I just said. Everything starts with you, right? So especially since I've been a performing artist, a dancer, a singer, actor, right? My body is my tool. Like that's it. So like I don't have a phone and a computer. Like my body is what I have to work with, right? Mm-hmm. So if I didn't get comfortable with checking in with myself and keeping myself grounded, forget it. Because in my business, the business of show, if you will, it is brutal because so much of what I experience is all based on another person's opinion of me. So that means that I could literally be the most talented person in the room, right?
Right.
But if that casting director, who's just another human being sitting behind the table, just doesn't like my vibe for whatever, right? Sometimes people are just like, I don't know, I don't like that girl. Guess what? I'm not getting the job.
Yeah.
And why is that sad? Because it's like, okay, I've spent years of training. I'm the best one in the room, right? I've worked hard. I have the skill. I have everything. But they just don't like me. So too bad, right? So
I'm
with
sure
that,
thoughts like maybe I'm fat, maybe I'm not.
Oh yeah.
Enough,
oh my God.
I'm not knowing how to play, whatever.
Of course, and so much of that business is, oh, Renee, you're amazing. You're not tall enough. Renee, we need someone who's a blonde. You're a brunette. I mean, that's what it's sometimes based on. So you have to be so comfortable in yourself. And how did I do that? Exactly what I just explained. I have been a journaler since I was literally 5 years old.
Wow.
And I think that has kept me so sane, if you will, because I'm able to identify my feelings. Because what can easily happen, as we talked about, if you don't address things, they stack on top of each other, right? So I could be upset one day because I get cut from an audition because I'm not tall enough. Okay. So I could be okay with it that day. Then the next day I get cut again because, Renee, we need a blonde. You're not blonde.
Hmm.
And if I don't address that feeling of sadness and kind of insecurity, if I don't address it, guess what? It's going to become a mountain. And one day I'm going to just explode because I have not addressed my feelings. So for me, addressing those feelings in the moment through journaling, through talking to my friends, crying when I have to, I'm just upset today, and then getting past it, that's exactly what it allowed me to do, to get past it. And it made me stronger and stronger because I, like all of you, have my insecurities. Like I said, I've been a perfectionist. Oh my God. Oh, I don't do this well enough. I could do 10 things great, and the one thing I can't do, I beat myself up for, right?
Oh,
So
they're done.
it's tough. So it really is about staying in that constant communication with yourself. And on a daily basis, sometimes 4 times a day, saying, how am I feeling? Right? Or if you feel yourself, this happens to me sometimes. I'll watch a TV show or someone will say something to me and I feel triggered. And I'm like, why the hell am I triggered? Right? Like, why am I upset right now? And then I'll write about it. And then I start to understand. I'm like, oh, I'm actually still really upset because, my friend and I got into an argument and that's why I'm upset.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense?
Of course. Yeah. 100%.
Right.
Definitely. Yeah. When you're not aware to yourself, you can grow. If you're not aware that you are judging yourself nonstop, beating yourself, you keep your low energy and you don't have even power to even put goals, to even get ahead. You can't. You let others pull you down. So what was that why that give you the drive till now?
Do you mean it as a performer or as a communication coach?
As a performer and a coach, I would love to hear both. Yeah.
Right. So for me, ever since I was a little girl, my dream was to be on Broadway. And you guys, I knew nobody in the business. My parents, were nobody, like they were, just hardworking people. And I really had to work from the ground up all on my own. And, listen, I was so lucky to have a wonderful support system. My parents, have always been just there for me. And, my father, who's like my best friend, he actually passed a few months ago.
Really?
But
wow, sorry to hear about it.
Thank you so much. He always told me, you have to stay true to who you are. Never let anybody else change you, and stay confident in the person you are. Don't think you have to be like anybody else, right? And those words and that advice kept me going and kept me always going towards that dream. And, I did reach my goal, and it was like the best feeling in the world. And my biggest why was because I wanted to prove to myself that I could, right? Because by proving it to myself, I get to inspire others to do the same. And that was so beautiful for me. Even with my parents, I was the first one in my family to graduate from college. Like that was so, inspiring for me because I got to, my parents were so proud, and, to have Marino, my dad's last name, on a diploma, like that was incredible, on a degree, on a Bachelor of Arts degree, like that was really special. So my why was, I think if I keep asking myself, right, what's the deepest reason? Why? Okay, but why? I believe because I want to feel like at the end of my life that I did everything I could to reach my dreams, right? Because otherwise, what are we here for? It's so easy to allow ourselves to be held back. So that's been my biggest why. And same with communication coaching. Like I said, I have been such an avid cheerleader for communication for as long as I can remember. I even wrote a song called Communicate. Okay. Yeah. Literally in 2008. And it's so funny because I started realizing in the past like year or so, when I started writing this book over a year ago, I was like, oh my God, this is like my heart. This is my purpose. Because communication, if you think about it, I've been communicating as an artist for my whole life, right?
Right.
But now it's about showing others how to do this, right? In an easy to implement way. And my why is same reason. This is in me, this like love and this obsession is within me, and I got to share it, man. I have to share it because I believe, God put this in my heart to share and to serve through this.
Damn right. Wow. Thank you for sharing.
You're welcome.
That's amazing. I really love it because that means you have something greater than you. It's not just impact people. It's helping, inspiring others. Yes. When it's something that's not just about us, it gets you to try. It gets you.
Oh my God. Yes. And it gets you out of your own head, right? Mm-hmm. Like when we focus on service and we focus on how can I help you? What do you need? How can I serve you? We get out of that loop of our mind of, oh my God, how am I doing? How do I look? I mean, what do I think? What do I want? Me, I. And excuse me, often that's ego, right?
Yeah.
Our ego, that's like making it all about us. And it's not.
Never about us. Never about us.
Nope.
It's about the people. Yeah. Wow. And thank you for sharing about your dad. He sounds like he was a great mentor, not just a father, but a great mentor.
The best. Yeah. And you know what I think what the most powerful part of him that I love and respect so much is he came from such a rough upbringing. I mean, oldest of 5, his father was an alcoholic. I mean, he had to work from the time he was a little boy, and he did a 180. Like, he could have easily followed in his father's footsteps, been a crappy father, and he found the power within him to flip the script, right? And even though he didn't have money, he had no resources, he had nothing. All he had was that desire in his brain to be better than he saw. And it's just beautiful because he was the best father ever.
Wow.
Yeah.
So he inspired you to actually get and continue and get beyond what you think you can.
100%. Yep.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a true inspiration.
Yeah.
And also that shows that, people might say maybe at the start of the interview that, maybe she had connection, maybe she had this.
Yeah. Nope, not at all. And I think that's what I'm most proud of. Yep, I did it from nothing to the top, and so I just say that because I want you all to know that it's possible. It's more than possible.
Yeah, it's definitely not bragging. Show that you can do it as well. Definitely.
Yep.
So right now you're focusing on communication, right? Your coach communication, right?
Yep.
So what made you transition to that business and not stay in the business show?
It's interesting. It just was like a natural progression, and it's weird because it all started when this quarantine started.
Really?
Crazy enough. Yeah. And it's funny because in a very strong sense, I've kind of always been communication coaching. My friends, people in the dressing room when we're talking about relationships and, I'm giving advice. Like, I realized I've been doing this, right? And in the course, that I've realized I was like, this is my superpower, and listen, I still will always be a performer, and listen, I'd love to go do another film and all of that. And if that's meant to be, that will be. But right now, this is my focus. And the more I talk about it, the more I love it and the more passion I feel. So like I said, it just was a natural progression. Listen, Broadway's shut down. I couldn't even perform right now if I wanted to. And it's funny how this all happened kind of just completely exactly how it was meant to. It just unfolded, at the start of this quarantine. So here we are.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
I love it. And you tapped into your superpower. You didn't search for something that, what will make me money?
No.
You search for something that is your superpower, and you can help so many people and impact. And that's what's important. I love that you said that, because a lot of people searching, especially when they start a business, like, what make me more money?
Totally. And again, that's going back to what we said before. That's ego, right?
Exactly.
That's saying, how can I make money? How can I, have this and me and I? And it's like, no. Like, a superpower is the thing that you do so naturally, right? That most people, and Dean Graziosi and Tony Robbins talk about this, right?
Tons.
They talk about how your superpower is often the thing that you overlook, because it almost feels like a part of you, like a limb, right?
Exactly.
It's an extension of me, and communication for me is an extension of my soul. And that's oftentimes what the superpower is. And it seems so natural that you can't even believe that. You're like, no, that's too easy. But what we don't realize is not everyone can do it, right? Just like if your superpower is building an app, right? A new application for a phone, I'd be like, how the hell do you do that? That's definitely not my superpower, right? But maybe that's your superpower, but you don't realize it, because for you, it's just that thing that you do all day, every day.
Definitely. 100%. That is what people don't understand. If it's easy for you, that means that's a superpower. If people come and ask you a question, because you said it, people ask you questions about communication for years. So that's how you tap into your superpower. In case people you're wondering how to get that, that's how you get that.
That's it.
What is it that comes natural for you?
Yes, and that you love, and that
you're passionate about.
Yeah, the more you talk about, the more obsessed you get with it, and the more it fires you up. That's a sure sign that it's your superpower.
Definitely, love it. So, right now, how do you keep momentum and being the best version of yourself? Because a lot of people let fears that people said, first of all, it started with self-judgment. I'm not good enough. I don't know if I can do this. I'm not in that league. Maybe I need more knowledge, and so on and so forth. And also other people judgment that people say, you can't do this. No, you need to learn that. No, that's too risky. Wait another year or two. And they don't have the drive. They can't find the motivation to get up and crush those fears and lead themselves. And you freaking did it big time. You led out of that self-judgment, out of those fears, out of those people opinion that can consume you. Place that you're paralyzed. So how did you do that? How do you actually keep momentum and being the best version of yourself?
It's such a great question, and the truth is, it's still a battle, and it's about every day, right? We often think that we could do something once and then we're great. It's like, okay, you know what? I need to lose 10 pounds, so I'm going to eat healthy today and then I'm good. No, it's a constant practice, right? Every day I wake up, Eden, it's a practice. Every day I get up, I meditate 20 minutes in the morning, 20 minutes at night. And I, kind of set myself up for the day. I work out. I listen to Mr. Tony Robbins. I listen to Dean Graziosi. I get pumped up. So I get myself away from, because guys, my mind still does it all the time. Oh, Renee, you didn't do that good enough. Oh, you're nit. And I have to try to make the powerful voice louder. And that's what it's about. We build momentum by showing up every day to be our own cheerleader. Because the fact is, guys, it's never going to be, oh, I don't have to practice anymore. It is what it is. No. It's every day showing up. For example, I got in the Knowledge Broker Blueprint Facebook page today, I got on there to tell everybody that I woke up today, you guys, and I didn't feel too great. Like I kind of had a headache. And I was like, oh, I could just stay in bed. Like, I'm tired. And I heard Dean's voice in my head go, do it with a headache. And he talks about how, you know, people who are like go-getters, the Michael Jordans of the world, they do it even when they don't feel like doing it. So I popped right out of bed. I did a workout. And guess what? 5 minutes into the workout, complete shift. I felt wonderful. So I had to get on the video and be like, you guys, I have to tell you this. This is what happened. I felt like crap 30 minutes ago. I feel better now because I just did it, right? I just took the action. But every day it's a practice. So just remind yourselves of that when you feel like, oh, I just have to do something once or twice and then I'm good. No. This is a lifelong practice. But the more comfortable you get with it by doing it each day, the more you look forward to it and the more momentum you build.
Bam, drop the mic.
Drop the mic.
Wow, that is indeed something that a lot of people miss. Hey, I missed that myself tons of time before. I thought that, I got it. No, it doesn't work like that.
No.
You got to build the momentum and keep on going and keep on growing, like I love to say, because when you stop, that's it. Like Tony Robbins' phrase, if you don't grow, you die. You die. That's it. So you kind of die because you live the life. I need to go to work. I need to do that in my business. And you know what? I will just sit and binge on Netflix.
That's it. You know, we don't realize our everyday things we do, right? We brush our teeth, we take our showers, right? That becomes habit, and those habits form patterns, right?
Right.
So when you want to break down something simple and easy, you say to yourself, okay, all I need to do is start a practice that turns into a habit that will then become a pattern. Boom.
Bam.
Good. So if you're feeling shitty and you're like, I need to change something, go, okay, what will make me feel better? I don't feel like working out, just like me today. Did not feel like getting out of bed, but I did it, right? That was a practice that is now going to become a habit, which I do work out every day anyway, but I'm in a habit now of saying yes, even when I want to say no. And then that's going to form a pattern. And you guys know, in the positive and negative way, when a pattern forms, it just takes, it becomes like a snowball, right? It just takes you away, right? So why not create a positive pattern? Let that take you away, right?
Indeed, I love it. Yeah, we have a lot of destructive habits and good habits.
Yeah.
And I love that you bring that, because I want also to ask you, what are your top 3 habits that you developed that helped you the most?
Yes. So number 1, first and foremost, excuse me, gratitude.
Oh, I love it. Yeah.
Wake up in the morning, you guys. I don't care how crappy you feel, how bad it is. You know what? Say thank you for the shitty things happening, because it's making you stronger. There's a reason for it. And that means that things are only going to get better, right? Find anything to grab onto to be grateful for.
Right.
Number 2, meditation for me is huge. I practice Transcendental Meditation, and I love it. That has been a game changer. And number 3, working out. You know, again, the mind, body, spirit is all connected. And, you know, emotion is motion, right? Everything's connected. So we store so many emotions and traumas in our bodies that if we don't move and get it moving, that's when we feel crappy. So I would say those 3 practices for sure are the game changers.
I love it. Gratitude, meditation, and working out. That's amazing.
Yeah.
And what you mentioned about that, definitely, when we're not in the same emotion, we get the emotion. For example, when someone is depressed, how we act, right? Slump shoulders, head down. Don't look in the eyes.
Yep.
That's the motion that creates emotion. But if you standing still, you start to speak right, you look in someone's eyes, you get that energy, you get fired up.
Yes. Yeah.
Woo! And you also mentioned, right, the morning routine. So all that you're doing in the morning, the gratitude, the meditation, the working out.
Yes.
Boom. Love it.
Woo!
When you wake up, your mind is still fresh. So if you wake up and go straight to the news,
no. And
you're done.
Oh my God. I watched, if you guys don't already follow Brendan Bouchard.
Oh, he's amazing.
He has a video that I watched a few weeks ago on a morning routine. And he said something that blew my mind. He said, which most of us do, we get up, we wake up, we're like, boom. Right?
Right.
What that's doing is the minute you wake up and you pick up that damn phone and you check your emails and you check social media, you have just checked out of your life and checked into someone else's.
Boom.
And damn, then we wonder why our day starts stressed. We're already like, feeling so ADD because like we're already looking at the blue light. And then we're off on the wrong foot. It's like, give yourself the time to like breathe, feel grateful, communicate with yourself, right? Mm-hmm. Check in with yourself. And then your day takes off in such a beautiful way. And even if things go wrong during the day, you're more capable of handling them.
Right.
Damn
right. Because like you said, when you're feeding yourself straight thing with someone else's life, you start maybe jealous, maybe.
Oh, yeah. Comparing.
Mm-hmm. And if you maybe read the news, you get the bad shit that's going on right now.
Yes.
And that's your focus for the majority of your day.
Yes, totally.
Because the mind absorbs everything. It's like a reset at night. And when you wake up, bam, that's what you're bringing on the morning. That's what you get most of the day.
100%.
So I love that you mentioned that because gratitude also changed my life. Meditation. Oh, damn.
Yeah. Yep.
I love that you brought that. So, besides habit, we have also a lot of limiting belief. And I'm sure in the show business, you had tons of limiting belief that stop you. But what are your top 3 limiting beliefs that stop you and how did you overcome them?
Great. So again, I like to say that these 3 limiting beliefs really all fall under the umbrella of like perfectionism and type A personality. So the first one is that the belief that if I'm not stressed out and like pulling my hair out, then I'm not working hard enough.
Ooh.
And like that saying, like, don't work harder, work smarter.
Mm-hmm.
I believed the opposite. I was like, no, when I'm working harder, that means I'm working smarter, right? And it was like this belief that I had to be at my wit's end and stressed and crying because I'm so stressed out. That meant I was doing it. No. And I've just, in the past few years, really kind of understood how crazy that belief is. And I've learned to, again, through my practices in the morning and meditation, it has taught me like, no, things can be fun. Things can be easier and still be effective. So that's the first one. The second one is that the belief that if I do one thing not well, we all have our weaknesses, like I said, I'm not going to create an app for a phone. That's just not how my brain works, right? But I used to believe that if I'm not good at everything, I'm good at nothing.
I'm so familiar with that, yeah.
The all or nothing mentality, it's exhausting, right? Because like I said, why journaling's so powerful for me, if I didn't write down sometimes like the great things I've accomplished and, ways that I've been really great to someone or, kind of inspired someone else or whatever it is, if I didn't write that down, I would never remember because I would only be focused on what I do wrong. And like, damn, That's so sad because we deserve to celebrate ourselves. We deserve to celebrate our victories and even celebrate those things that we're not great at, right? Exactly. Because we're not supposed to be great at everything.
Damn right.
You know? Right. And number 3, which is one that Eden and I've been talking about a lot, is about the belief that I could not take action unless I was completely ready, completely calm, everything was perfectly ready to go.
Perfection.
Bullshit. Mm-hmm. It's about taking imperfect action, right? Mm-hmm. Because when we take action, even before we're 100% ready, even before everything is, perceived as perfect, we are going to learn so much. We are going to build confidence because we prove to ourselves that we are able to do something even before we're fully ready. Mm-hmm. And that's been the biggest, most beautiful realization for me. Number 3.
That's a huge one, because perfection can stop us from reaching and doing anything, reaching any of our goals. Yes. I have a huge sinner in that. I used to be a huge sinner in that. One of the phrases that changed my life, literally, is done is better than perfect.
That's perfect. Me too, my friend.
Done
Me
is better
too.
Than perfect.
Oh my God, 100%. And that quote specifically has also helped me so much.
It's a life changer.
Yes,
definitely,
for sure.
because I kept waiting. Oh, it's got to be perfect. It's got to be perfect, especially when I just started with videos and I wasn't good at it. I was talking like a zombie when I just started out. No energy, no nothing. I'm like, hey, everybody, how are you? Yeah. It was horrible. And also in my YouTube channel, I kept that. Why? Because then I can see where I was and where I'm today.
Absolutely. I love that.
It's a perfect reminder for done is better than perfect. Because if I didn't do one single video, I couldn't get better, right? So even I did 1, 2, 3, 4, 430.
That's it.
Better.
I love it.
Done is better than perfect.
Yes.
So I love that you brought it up. So Renee, as a master communicator, to help our audience to start tapping into their confidence, to themselves, to take themselves and their business, relationship with people to the next level, what can they do to feel more confident about themselves and start moving things?
Like I just said, my friends, take imperfect action.
Oh, I love it.
And I challenge you to take imperfect action. So if that means, you guys, right now, we are in the last week of the month, right? What does that mean? That means we have this amazing opportunity to think about how we want to go into this new month, into this new chapter, right? So I challenge you all to do one thing this week that takes you outside of your comfort zone, okay? Whether that means instead of texting someone, pick up the phone and have an actual conversation with them. Whether that means going on a live video on your Facebook page and saying hello to your followers, just to challenge that fear. Whether that means working on your website that you've been avoiding because you're scared that it's not perfect. Work on it. That is how you get better. Because like you said, practice upon practice creates habit, which will create a positive pattern. Mm-hmm. And before you know it, you'll be thriving. And you'll be comfortable with putting yourself out there on social media in an authentic way, right? That's how we do it. Imperfectly, one step at a time.
Definitely, one step at a time. And I love that. And I want to add that to one more thing to it, is that when we do something like that, like what is frightening us, a lot of times we don't know what is not in the comfort zone. So the best thing is focus on what is it that you're procrastinating.
Yes.
For a day, for a week, for 2 months. That's what you got to do. That's getting out of the comfort.
Yes.
So love that you brought it up. Now, if someone wants to approach to their ideal client, let's say, or their ideal partner, okay, what is the thing that they can do to start making that new connection, bring them closer to them?
So you mean like in like with business, right? You're saying if an entrepreneur is trying to like target their ideal client?
Right. And it can be the same thing when it's also for a partner, for your ideal partner, for your spouse.
Well, again, that all comes down to honesty with yourself, first and foremost. And secondly, honesty with the other party, right? So let's just take, you're an entrepreneur, you're trying to find your ideal client. Let me tell you what I've been doing as a new entrepreneur. I have reached out to people who have expressed an interest, right, in coaching with me, or they've said like, oh, Renee, I think I'm your ideal client. I said, great. Would you mind hopping on a call with me, Zoom call or phone call? And I just want to ask you some questions, 20 minutes max. And I want to really ask you questions about like, okay, why do you think you need communication coaching? What kind of was your upbringing like that made you kind of have a fear attached to communication? And by asking these questions, I've slowly been able to nail down who my ideal client is, right? Awesome. And again, that goes back to communication, because I have to be able to ask questions, right, in a confident way that the person on the other end is able to hear and receive and feel comfortable talking back. Does that make sense?
100%. That's also kind of a research that helps people to identify who is their ideal client. So I love that. And that's how you also bring the message more clear, because you know what are their pain, what they're dealing with, what are their struggles is, and more tighter, if you will, and also get that message out there.
Yes.
So I really love it. I really, really love it. Renee, so can you share with us maybe some inspiring moment you have with a client?
Yes. Just last week, oh my God, it made me so happy. I have been coaching this wonderful lady, young woman, and she is definitely an ideal client. She grew up in a family that she coined this term. I love this. She grew up in a communication phobic family.
Oh.
So she said, you know, growing up, she didn't even realize that you were able to speak your feelings or talk about how you felt. So, you know, she really went through her life not authentically communicating with in her professional relationships or in her personal relationships. So I've been coaching her, and last week she had such a breakthrough. She had been working for this woman who she was helping to, like, you know, build her website and all. And she said she could tell that the woman was starting to get like a little weird. Like she wasn't, you know, she felt like she didn't like what my friend who I'm coaching was doing. And my friend was so confused, because she's like, well, she hired me, right, to create this website and to bring forth these ideas for her. She said, so we were on a phone call, and I could tell there was like some resistance on her part. So we hung up the phone, and she said my usual go-to pattern would be to like cry and not ever call her back and just avoid, right? All of us have done it. You just want to avoid it. I'm not going to face it. And she said, Renee, I got upset for 5 minutes, and then I picked the phone back up. She said, I didn't even know what I was going to say. Imperfect action. She said, but I knew that I had to tackle this. And the woman picked up the phone, and she said, hi, Ingrid. I just want to, you know, check in. I feel like, you know, something was off, and blah, blah. And boom, she took massive action, had authentic communication, and she found out that she and this woman, it just wasn't a good match, you know? This woman didn't know exactly what she wanted, and my friend who I'm coaching was giving her these great ideas, right? But since the woman didn't know what she wanted, she was kind of like stepping back, and they decided to just, you know what, thank you for your services, but this isn't a great match. We're going to go our separate ways. And it was so wonderful and powerful, because you guys, even if things aren't meant to work out in your personal relationship, in a business relationship, isn't it better to know then in the moment before you waste months on end?
Or years.
And I was so proud of her, because you have to understand, this is a girl who never did that before. And all of a sudden she found the confidence within her to speak her mind in a very lovely way.
Wow.
And she got her results, and now she can move on.
That's
Bam!
bam, indeed. That's fantastic. That's definitely inspiring, because she had afraid all that time to actually approach people and share the feeling, and doing something like that. That's a huge, huge win.
Huge.
Amazing. Wow. And you know, that reminds me that a lot of people miss out, especially in that, they're setting the expectation from one another.
100%.
If that's a real match or not a match, if it's a partner, if it's a spouse, if it's ideal client, whatever it is.
Yes, totally.
Love it. So we're getting in the end of the interview, and I have a little more question for you. So can you share with us who inspired you to follow your passion?
My father, definitely. You know, like I said, he always reminded me that I was capable of anything. And not only did he remind me of it through his words, but I got to see him as my role model do that. Like I said, he could have easily taken a different path, and instead he flipped the script. And to be able to see that was so inspiring for me, and I carry that with me through my life, everything I do. So he's the person first and foremost.
I love it. I love it. And I'm sure you made him proud more than you know.
I believe so.
Thank you for sharing it.
Yes.
It's not taking for granted. It's something very personal. So thank you for sharing that.
You're so welcome. You're so welcome.
Now, if you can go back in time, what advice will you give to your younger self?
Take it more easy on yourself. Love yourself fully. Love even the parts of yourself that you sometimes don't like. Mm-hmm. And, you know, just enjoy the journey, right? It's not about like beating yourself up and like, well, you have to do this better and get better at this. No, right? Enjoy the journey. Work as hard as you can, but just be easier on yourself.
Oh, I love it. Just be easier on yourself.
That's it.
Love the journey, definitely, because what happened, a lot of people focusing on the end goal when they actually need to focus on what's happening here.
Yes.
You know, I will share a quick story. I've been in the solo ad industry, that's email marketing, and I was focusing only on the money. Close another client, another client. But I freaking hated it. So what? I made money, but I felt empty. Felt empty.
Yep.
I didn't enjoy the road. Is that worth it? Heck no. It was worth it because I learned a lot during that time, definitely. Totally. But it wasn't worth it to keep going. That specific area.
I love that.
That's when I got to mentoring and all that, and that's my passion. So when you tap into your passion and you're going with the journey and you love the journey, that's how you can grow the most. And I love that you said that.
Amen, baby. Woo!
Amen. Woo! Woo! If you had a chance to deliver the one message that will stay written in history, what will it be?
Good one. I would say developing the ability to authentically communicate from your heart in your relationships, both personal and professional, is a gift to not only you, but your relationships. So I would say.
Bam! You drop a lot of mics today.
Drop the mic, baby. Yeah. Ooh, left and right.
I love it. So Renee, how can people know more about you?
Sure. So you can check out my website, reneemarino.com. And honestly, if you want to reach out to me, the best place is Instagram at Renee Marino Official. And I am also on, I'm on Facebook as Renee Marino, and also I have a business page, Master Communicators, which is my business. And yeah, come say hello. I'd love to chat with you. Send me a message, and yeah, sending you love.
Thank you. Thank you so much for being here. I'm really grateful for that. I'm grateful for you having here and investing your time with us today. I really appreciate you.
My pleasure. Thank you. This has been amazing.
Thank you. So people, if you want to know more about Renee, you will have in the description below all the links. You can go to her group, go to her Facebook, Instagram, her website, go talk to her. She's amazing. And if you want to get communicating better with your spouse, with your family, with your friends, business, whatever, she is your girl. So, and people, if you like this video and you like this interview, give us a big, huge thumbs up.
Yeah.
And, if you want to get more content like this, just hit the subscribe button to never miss out an episode, and the little notification bell that you will never miss out an episode. And again, Renee, thank you so much for being here. I'm really grateful for that. And I will see you, everyone. Have an amazing and productive day. Keep on going, keep on growing.